Здравствуйте, я вас всех поздравляю с Кракова. Это жаль, что в этот год невозможно поехать в Питер и встретиться с вами. Я думаю, что это будет возможно уже в следующий год. Я буду говорить по-английски. My short presentation concerns the matter of the formal requirements, and here I will speak about my own legal system of Polish law. The problem which I would like to raise may have a general value, not only from the Polish perspective, but I have to admit that in different countries this issue has been already settled, and the approach was more flexible than under Polish law. The coronavirus has forced us to reconsider a lot of traditional institutions of law, and one of these institutions, of those institutions, is the matter of the notary formal requirements. The draconic or very, or even necessary, but very harsh laws in Poland on coronavirus practically locked up us all at homes, and we are not allowed basically to move freely and to go out only for very particular reasons. This situation stopped also or prevented to accomplishment of the notary form requirements. People do not meet. It is much more difficult, and practically the activities of notaries have been stopped. And therefore there is an opportunity to consider, to think whether it is possible to accomplish all requirements of the notary form also online. It concerns, of course, a lot of activities, the matters of wills, the matters of real estate transactions, important matter of the shareholders' assemblies, and the protocol where the notary form is also required. And then is the question whether it is possible to accomplish all requirements for the notary form also online. In some countries, it is not a problem. It has been already practiced, and we have also these ideas, the regulation of the European Union concerning the electronic signatures, and they can be also used in this particular context. Despite of all of this, the Polish law on notaries and the interpretation of this law was conservative. So the current Polish practice does not allow to make a notary act online. The personal presence of the participants is required. And then, of course, it opens the interesting question whether the existing provisions are feasible for more flexible interpretation. The answer has two aspects, because firstly, one may ask, it is allowed at all to change the interpretation of law only because of the virus, only because of this situation of the crisis, and only in the frame of the situation of the crisis. I would not exclude such possibility, because the interpretation of law is always a matter of facts. to which the certain law institutions need to be applied. It means that a particular emergency may also influence the interpretation of the existing laws. Nevertheless, in the case of formal requirements, this kind of temporary limited approach will cause in future difficulties. It will be always the question whether certain formal requirements have been accomplished, whether it was justified by the given situation. So, of course, in the case of the formal requirements, a certain restrictive approach seems to be necessary. But the question is whether the already existing provisions do not allow this more flexible approach. The provisions of the Polish Act on Notaries, to our opinion, can be interpreted in more flexible way. But I would rather do not call it a functional interpretation. I think that the existing provisions, by, for example, requiring the personal presence of participants, of people who are accomplishing the act and of the notary, do not mean necessarily that online presence cannot be regarded as a presence. I think the opposite is true. The modern technology allow us to make the conferences, online videos. We have all these possibilities to identify people, or there are different protocols how to identify people, even with the ID cards. And also we have, of course, electronic signatures. So, to my opinion, and also we have this short intervention was based on the paper which we have written with 3 other authors. To our opinion, all these requirements are met. So the coronavirus can be seen not only as a tragedy and threat, but it is also a big chance to all of us to look on the legal institutions from perspective which will be more corresponding to already existing technology, and therefore the coronavirus could be also seen as a certain chance to modernize the law, and already existing provisions may be seen from very different perspective, allowing the online transposition and versions of Notary Act. Thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity for this short intervention.